Good day and welcome to Mission Control Houston, where a multidisciplinary team of flight controllers is watching over the systems aboard the International Space Station as the Expedition 34 crew continues its work. Today, the crew has assembled Robonaut for another set of on-orbit tests that are looking at what kind of an assistant a humanoid Robonaut might be for humans in space. They're also doing ultrasound background noise testing to continue work started earlier in the week to characterize the sound levels on the station, and replacing the manifold bottle on the combustion integrated rack, which allows flame experiments to go on aboard the International Outpost. Ford and Hadfield were the prime crew members working with Robonaut, taking the humanoid Robonaut out of its sleeping compartment and setting up a task board for upcoming remote commanding. Meanwhile, engineers on the ground today work with new software that could allow Robonaut to be controlled by virtual reality gear on the orbit in the future. And it was Ford who also worked with those ultrasound measurements. Tom Marshburn, meanwhile, worked on updates to the automated payload switch upgrade that will help facilitate remotely controlled research on the International Space Station. Novitsky, Torelkin, and Romanenko did a variety of experiments as well as station maintenance tasks. Novitsky did air filter cleaning. Torelkin worked on water purification and filtration maintenance in the Rushman segments of the station. And Romanenko installed experiment hardware for the Kristall experiment. Later on today, ground controllers will be stowing the Dexter Special Purpose Dexterous Manipulator, which has been on the end of Canadarm2 for the past 2 weeks. Last week for remote refueling mission activities, looking at how we might use robotic spacecraft to go refuel spacecraft that never were designed to be refueled in orbit. All those tests went very well, a combined project of the Goddard Space Flight Center of NASA up in Maryland and the Canadian Space Agency. Flight controllers here in Mission Control and at the Canadian Space Agency's robotic support facility in St. Hubert, Canada, worked together on those remote controlled activities. They also, earlier in this work, moved around a couple of different orbital replacement units on the outside of the space station, moving them from one rack to another, and putting them in the right position so that the degraded components are out of the way and that the components that may be needed soon for upcoming replacement tasks are right at hand. Today, the crew on the ground is going to use the robotic arm to stow the Dexter manipulator on the mobile base system. Meanwhile, at the Baikonur Cosmodrome in Kazakhstan, the work is continuing to prepare for the next Russian cargo craft, Progress 50, for launch on February 11 to the space station. Ahead of that, the Progress 48 spacecraft, which arrived at the station in August, will be undocking from the Pirs docking compartment. That is coming up on Saturday, February the 9th at 7:15 a.m. Central Time. We'll have live coverage of that on NASA TV. And after that, it'll be deorbited 3 hours later, so it burns up into the atmosphere and plunges to a destructive demise in the Pacific Ocean. And that'll clear Pirs for the accelerated single-day launch to docking of a Progress 50 on Monday, February the 11th. Launch from Site 1 launch pad where Yuri Gagarin launched at Baikonur is scheduled for 8:41 a.m. Central Time on February the 11th. And then 4 orbits later, it'll be docking to the space station at 2:40 p.m. Central Time. New Progress is going to be carrying 1,700 pounds of propellant, more than 100 pounds of oxygen and air, more than 900 pounds of water, and some 3,000 pounds of spare parts, experiment hardware, and logistical equipment, total of almost 3 tons of supplies in all. And that single day launch to docking is in preparation for potential use of that single day launch to docking for humans to minimize the stress on crew members as they head up to the International Space Station. Space Station managers and partners met this morning to review all the preparations for the undocking of 48 Progress and the launch of Progress 50, and so far no issues have been identified, and we're looking forward to that coming up later this month.